What's going on, guys? Tyler here, and I'm super excited for today's video. We're talking about gradient animations for text and for something else that I'm going to show you in this video that is going to be super awesome and maybe just kind of blow your mind a little bit like it did mine last night while I was figuring this out. I do want to give a shout out to Lazy Owly, who commented on my previous video about gradient text, asking for a feature like this, wanting to know if it was possible, and I have figured out a way to do it, so it's all going to be in this video, the whole tutorial, so stay tuned for the whole video, and let's jump in. As always, to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure and smash that nice red looking subscribe button and hit that bell icon for notifications of videos just like this one. Now, of course, I always recommend Elementor Pro, and this feature that we're going to talk about today is an Elementor Pro feature. So be sure and check out the link down below in the description, see what kind of price you can get for it. It really is an incredible plugin with so many features, and today's feature is gonna be awesome. So let's just jump into the tutorial and get started. Now, one thing I do want to tell you is that it is kind of important that you saw my other video, because we're going to talk about some code snippets that I actually show you how to create and how to use in my other video. So if you haven't seen that video, pause right now, go check out that other video. This is what the thumbnail of the video looks like, and there's a card right up here at the top of this video right now. You can click on it and be taken over to that other video. But once you have that in place, come back and we will show you this extra animation feature. All right, guys, welcome into my computer. Now, if you saw the last video, like I recommend you definitely go and check out, you'll know that we have created some code snippets under this custom CSS for this title. Now, this is what the actual title looks like. I think it looks really good. It looks modern, cutting edge. It's kind of got that, you know, unique, edgy feel to it. And what we're going to do is just get straight into it and start editing code. So if we go into edit right here and go to the advanced tab and back down to the custom CSS box down here, you can see we have a little bit of different custom CSS that we created from the last video. Now, what we're going to do is actually grab this section right here. This is going to be the background dash image, and we're going to grab all of that up to the close parenthesis and the semicolon right there. Now we need this all right here, and we're just going to delete it. That's all we're doing. We're just deleting that section out right there. Leave the background clip to text and the WebKit background clip to text. Leave that. Leave the open bracket under the selector and the close bracket as well. Leave all of that, and now we head over to a website which is called gradient-animator.com. So if we go over there, gradient animator, you can even just Google it. It will come up with this tool right here. Last time we used the my color, I think it was mycolor.space website, and that allowed us to kind of create pick one color and generate a palette of multiple colors from it. So if you want to use those multiple colors that you generated in your palette, you can definitely do that here. But basically, this is the tool that we're going to use to actually animate this gradient. Now, what we're going to do is first we're going to add a color. I have a little post-it note here of which colors I like here, so I'm just going to add these in really quick. But basically, you can go through and just select as many colors as you want. We'll use that one, and then we'll add another one here, and let's go ahead and add in this one right there, and then the last one we'll make, I believe this is kind of a lighter color here. Perfect. All right, so there are my three colors that I want. Now, how this actually works is, let's say you have a little view of what you can see on the page right here. So for example, the column or the section that we're building out on Elementor, this is how big it is, right? Basically, it's going to create a gradient that is that same exact size, but you can see right here, it's going to blow it up to 600%. So it's going to make it 6 times this. So way out here, right? So it's blown up this whole gradient, and then it's going to slide that gradient across the screen over and over again. And basically how this works is you can choose the gradient angle. Do you want the gradient, the actual like color fade, to go left to right, diagonal to diagonal, top to bottom, and then which way do you want the whole piece to scroll through through your view basically. Do you want it to scroll, you know, top to bottom, so it's coming down like this? Do you want it to scroll bottom to top or left to right, or however you want it? You can go ahead and make that adjustment right here. The speed will be how fast it's actually scrolling through the view. So if you increase the speed increase the speed up here, then it's going to be scrolling through very, very fast. If you slow it way down, it'll scroll very, very slow. Now what I like to do is typically put it about 10 seconds. I find that's pretty good for a common title or heading in Elementor. And then as far as these, I just kind of leave them the same. I'm not too worried about them. When it's in, you know, when you just see it around the text, you don't really notice it that much. So that's pretty much it. We're pretty much done with this code creation for the animator. Now what we're going to do is actually take right here, you can see it says .css selector and open bracket. We want just after that open bracket, we want the starting background, and we want down all the way to the line that starts animation and ends infinite with a close semicolon here. We're going to take this section right here. So hopefully you can see that. That's the section right here. We're going to go ahead and copy that and take that back over to our website. Now we're going to paste it after the open bracket of what we're selecting here. So we're selecting the heading and the title. We're going to go ahead and we can, you know, add a few lines, no problem. We're going to paste that in right here. Now what you can see is we already have some kind of gradient forming, right? But we can see that we have over here now, we have this whole section that we pasted in. We have the background clip to text still there, the WebKit background clip to text still there, and the close bracket down at the bottom. Now the next thing that we need to do is after the close bracket, we need to add a few lines. So just basically after the close bracket, add a few lines there, and then we'll go back over to the CSS animator and we will grab the sections down here that are basically going to tell the website what to do, how to do the animation. So it starts over here at the @ dash webkit dash keyframes and ends down here with a close bracket. So we need this whole section right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select it and copy it, and then we will head back over to our website. So let's go over here, and we have to make sure to paste it below or after the close bracket here on the selector. So we'll go ahead and paste that in right there, and there we go. Now if you look at the title, you can see it's already happening. It's already starting to fade, and I think that looks super good, like super fancy. It's got this cool like animated effect. It kind of fades between these kind of pastel colors that you would expect from kind of like a tech company or something like that, you know, a cutting edge kind of modern company, something like that. It's already fading. It looks awesome. Now once you have this created, you don't have to worry about doing this basically ever again. If you want this text item again, you can basically just duplicate it and use it wherever else you want. You can just highlight the things, change it, hello world, and yeah, you've basically got animated gradient text that you can put anywhere you want. You could even save this as a template if you're using templates in Elementor Pro a lot. All right, now if you're not blown away by that effect, what if we could apply this effect to something else, like say icons? Elementor Pro has an incredible font awesome library of icons. Now I say font awesome because that's actually the actual brand and the actual library that has created all of these icons for people to use, and we'll get a little bit more into that in just a minute. But basically you can apply the same effect to icons. Now to do this, it's very simple. You just go over here to Elementor and we're going to drag in an icon here. Now there are a few different steps that I'll show you how to do, but basically we're going to choose our icon. We just go over here to the left, either click on the icon or click icon library, and as you can see, this is the, over here on the left you can see font awesome, regular, solid, brands. These are the font awesome icons, and you can use any of these in your website here. Just if you need like specific things, you might want to check licensing on logos and stuff like that. But for this example, we're just going to go ahead and let's just search up here for the Apple. We're going to use the Apple Pay logo icon. Now this is really cool, and every icon has a specific name, and what you need to do is you need to know that name and you need to write that name down to keep it for our code in just a minute here. Now, if you hover over the title, sometimes it gets a little cut off. If you hover over, you can see this one is called CC space Apple space pay. So we're going to need to keep that in mind because we may need to use that in the future for our code. We're going to go ahead and insert it right here. And you can see we have now the Apple Pay logo right there. If we go to style, we can go ahead and size this and bring it nice and big. Awesome, that looks great right there. Now what we're gonna do is actually grab the code from right here and basically just duplicate it and put it right into this icon code there. So we'll go edit this title right here, go to advanced, go to custom CSS. If you click in this text box, you can hit Command A or Control A to select everything, and then we will just copy it over. And we'll go over to this icon and hit edit and advanced and custom CSS, and we will paste it in there. Now there are some few adjustments that we need to make on this actual code set right here. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to go under selector. We're going to change this to FA for font awesome, and then we're going to go dash, and then we're going to go CC because we're typing in now the icon name, and wherever there's a space you're just going to replace it with a dash. So CC, right, it was CC space Apple space pay, so we're going to put CC dash Apple dash pay. All right, perfect. And then we need a semicolon, so the 2 dots right there, and then we're going to type in before. And basically we are set up here. We should have just about everything done. I believe that's it. Let's go ahead and now just bring down the transparency here of the actual icon. So we go back to edit, and we'll go up to the top and go to style, and we can go to the primary color and click on the color and bring down the transparency. And when we bring it all the way down, you can see we now have the icon animated. And how cool does that look? How awesome does that look to have an icon that is animated, have, you know, this color gradient, you know, changing through it? I think it looks super awesome. And if we actually delete this, we can see just how good this actually looks on the page. And it just creates like this super, you know, modern cutting edge effect on your website. And you can add these anywhere. Again, we can go ahead and edit. We can duplicate these or do whatever we need to with them. Let's just say we want to change it to something else. We'll go ahead and duplicate it here. We'll click here and we can choose anything that we want. Let's just say, I don't know, a voicemail. Perfect, right here. If we hover over, we need to get the name from it, right? Voicemail. We'll just go ahead and insert that there. And as you can see, it's gone. It's completely transparent, right? Because we haven't updated our code. So we need to go over to advanced and go over to custom CSS. And we need to get rid of cc-apple-pay. And instead, we're going to put, let me see here. Let me zoom in so you can see this here. We're going to put under the selector, it's the selector space dot and then FA for font awesome dash, and then the name of the icon was just voicemail. And so once we have that, we should be able to see the voicemail pop up, and you get that cool gradient change effect right there. Again, that is going to be using all the same code from the text that we created and from the code that we got from the CSS gradient animator right over there. So that's how you do it, guys. Honestly, I think this effect is just super, super awesome. And I think it'll bring like that cutting edge and modern feel to your website for sure. So if you haven't checked out the last video, be sure and check that one out. And then this one will make even more sense. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. Also, I'm getting notifications pretty often now of new people subscribing. So thank you guys so much for that. Be sure and smash that nice red looking subscribe button. If you haven't already, it's really just encouraging to me. And on top of that, be sure and check out Elementor Pro. If you haven't upgraded already, be sure and get that Elementor Pro from the link down below. See what kind of price you can get for it. It really is a truly incredible plugin. All right, guys, with no further ado, we will catch you guys on the next video. Take care.